Okay, I did actually have to show up because I have to say Zebra. Thank you, Zebra. I saw what you gifted. I saw what you gifted me on Throne. I appreciate it. I do appreciate it. I hope you know I do. Thank you. Okay, I can leave now. Bye. Wait a second. Let me grab one of these. I was gonna grab one of these real quick. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Okay, I can come back. Did you hear that sound, though? Did you hear that sound, though? Please tell me y'all heard that and it sounded as good as it sounded to me. Because, it was nice. I also got some on me. And now I'm going to be a little sticky. But hey, it sounded lovely. Okay, hello. Hello, everybody. Hello, Lullaby. Thank you for getting first. Hello, Tiger. Thank you for getting second. And hello, Rengoku's Wi-Fi. Thank you for getting third. Also to the lovely Xantu, who followed while stream wasn't started yet. Thank you for the follow. Hi, Moss Dwarf. Okay, let me go through everybody real quick. We're going to go through everybody and say hello. If chat wants to load, Jesus. There we go. Hi, Neeks. Hi, Lynx. Hello, Shiny, whatever. Hello, Gibbets. Hello, Grizzlied Filth. Hello, Aura. Hello, Echo Infernal. Hello, Neeks. I said hi to you. Hi, Pomo. Hello, Venus. I'm sorry that I didn't fall as aggressively as you wanted me to. I guarantee I will fall later. Hello, Carmia. Hello, Zebra. Hello, Moonshadow. How you doing? Hello, Nia. I'm proud of you, Nia. Hello, Echo Infernal. Enjoy your sub. Hello, Savvy Addy. Hello, Lynx. Hello, Shiny. Whatever. I think I already said hello to you, though. Too many of you talking all the time, chat. What am I going to do? Well, hello, Moxie. Probably won't be back. My trans brother just found my TikTok. And trans, we're going to get stuck in a car for like an hour. So good luck, Moxie. I believe in you. Hello, Moss Dwarf. Hello, Moss Dwarf. Mossy, Moss Dwarf. Hello, Desi. Hi, Desi. How you doing? Hello, Desi again. Hello, Desi a third time. Hello, Ray, and hello, Spell. I think I said hello to everybody. Did I not? Aura. Okay, cheers, chat. So today, chat, and why have I actually joined a stream to a guy using a daddy voice? This is just my normal voice, Robert Jake. But I mean, if you want to call me daddy, you can call me whatever you want. I'm sure the therapy bills will be just fine. But how's everybody doing? How you all doing? You didn't say hi to Cornea? I said hi to Nia several times. I don't call her Cornea. They go by Nia. There you go, Moon. Is that what you wanted? Exactly. I said Nia several times. But yes, so today, lovely chat. I have talked to the flock a little bit. Me and the flock discussed very briefly. And the flock has suggested that we try a 3-hour stream. And we try out a few of them and see how they go, you know? So what does that mean for streams? Well, the flock. I've explained to you what the flock is, chat. The flock is a group of sheep, eldritch beings that I occasionally will go talk to, and they will give me advice on things. And I'll talk to them, and they connect me with entities that may or may not help grow this channel. So yeah, that is who the flock is. There's not much more to the flock than what I just described, chat. Like, it's not that crazy. Yeah, it's not that interesting. The flock, chat. I talk to the flock regularly, at least twice a month, to discuss things and to figure things out. And the flock suggests that if I want to try 3-hour streams for the foreseeable future, I try 3 hours. Except that you're getting longer streams, okay? Come here. Hey. Hey, don't question the flock, okay? The flock do what the flock do. Why is it so crazy to believe the flock? Oh wait, chat's not working. Chat, why aren't you working? Who is part of the flock? No. You can't be part of the flock. The flock is the flock. There's no one part of the flock. The flock is an entity. The flock is a whole. The flock is the flock. It's like Legion, you know? Do y'all know about Legion? Do I have to explain to you what Legion is? Okay, 1 second, I gotta... Why are you... Wait. Where the fuck is chat? So, for those of you who don't know, Legion is a thing from the Bible. We're gonna try this real quick, chat. Bloop, bloop. All right, chat, speak. It's almost working. Aha! It's working! Good job, chat. I'm so proud of you. Look at you. Look at you working. No, don't bark. But yeah, sorry. So Legion is a thing from the Bible where there's demons and they go, "Demon, who are you?" It goes, "We are Legion. We..." And that kind of thing, you know? So yeah, the flock is the flock. The flock is the flock. The flock is there's no one who's part of the flock. The flock is the flock. See, if the flock was here and the flock was here, the flock would be both places at the same time. They are the flock. We are the flock. Yeah. So are we understanding? No, I'm not the flock. How could I be the flock? How would I talk to the flock, huh? If I were the flock, I would have to be talking to me. But I can't talk to me. You've got the most "We Are Venom" voice. God, I hope. If see, chat, just cast me in your fan dubs. I'll say whatever. Give me money, and I will speak words for you. Yes, if you have to ask if you're part of the flock, you're not part of the flock, because the flock is the flock. Yeah. The mountains are the mountains. You don't like point out the individual mountain, do you? No, they're the mountains. They're the whole mountains. Play Cult of the Lamb with us? Gene, how do you feel about me editing a friend's smut fic while listening to you? I mean, you know... it's not like I can stop you even if I wanted to, so it doesn't matter what I think. You could tell me like, "Hey, Gene, did you know I'm jerking it to you right now?" I mean, like, I'd probably time you out because gross, but also I'm not gonna go and grab your hand and stop you. Why are the rulers of their newfound plethora? Wait, we are thy rulers of the newfound plethora. Aura, I need you around. Aura, behave yourself. You're a mod. No, Mossdorf. I'm kidding. You can edit whatever you want. I don't really care. In fact, if I inspire you to do better, then do better, okay? like, edit, Mossdorf. You're fine, sweetie. You're totally fine, okay? Okay? Yeah, do whatever you want. I'm happy to have you here either way. Just, you know... if you get off to the sound of my voice, I better get paid, okay? There we go. That's all I'm going to say about this, and now we're done with it. Anyways, chat, so... Yakuza. Probably not, Robert. I'm sure you'll find a lovely place somewhere else, though, if you don't like it. Best of luck to you, sweetie. Okay, anyways, so... what were we talking about? What do you mean the new flock order? Are we still on the flock? Y'all are the menagerie, chat. You are the menagerie, okay? Okay, you are the menagerie. Oh, he was just like, "I don't think this is my place because people are talking about Jorkant." And I'm like, okay, then leave. Leave. You don't have to be here. Yeah, willingly chose to come into this place where a guy is going, "Ada." Like, yeah, fuck it. This is your choice. Why did I go into a stream where a guy is talking in a daddy voice? If you don't like the voice, leave. You don't have to be here. I don't care. This is a free country. This is my country, actually. It's not free. Pay me right now, chat. If you're getting money, give. Ah, thank you. Thank you, Spell. Thank you. Okay, we can keep going. I appreciate it. I was kidding. I was joking. You don't have to pay me, but I appreciate you also very much. Hello, Snowfang. But seriously, Moss, you edit your shit. I'm excited to see it edited, and if your friend wants to let me read it, let me read it. I like reading all writing, no matter the kind of thing. Venus Jean hates me. Gangsta, why would I ever redeem? What'd you do? Oh, I don't hate you, but I hate the redeem. Will, thank you so much for the redeem. Fuck. Ah. One day I'll read your fanfic? I mean, sure. How much to let me ride bitch for Yakuza? You want to sit behind me in the chair and, like, put your arms around me? Is that what you want to do? Do you want to like sit in the chair behind me and just wrap your arms around my stomach and be like, oh, we're driving a little car. Moss, focus. People would pay. That'd be such a weird thing to pay for because I'm a tall guy and most of my height is my torso. So you wouldn't be able to see. You wouldn't be able to see the screen if you're riding bitch in my computer seat. Oh, hello. Hello, new person. Hello. Welcome to the menagerie. You will be assigned a cage very soon. Don't worry about it. I mean, what, chat? There's no cages. You're fine. You're dying on the inside. I'm dying on the outside. And the inside. I'm dying more than you. That means I win. What? Change? Cage? Yeah, don't worry about the cage. Oh, if you haven't noticed yet, it's fine, chat. It's fine yet. It's fine. Don't worry about it. The basement was getting crowded, so I had to expand. But it also means that you need less space, so... I have a lot of energy every night, chat. I have a lot of energy every night, and now that I know that we're going for an extra hour, I have more time to just fuck around. And technically, every stream before we get started and do gaming, we do 30 minutes of just chatting. If you haven't been paying attention yet, start. Come on, guys. Most of you are here every day. But I love y'all. Foodie. It's been a minute. You keep catching the end of streams. How you doing? Sneaks out of his room full of cardboard boxes and releases everything from the cages in the basement. Crucified. The house is just a larger cage. Moxie, kill him. I don't know. Just good luck. Don't kill him. If you kill him, and I'm going to get in trouble for it. Have somebody else do it. That way they don't know about me. So 8 hours between morning and night. Huh? I got distracted. Yuki! Hello, Yuki. Okay. So, chat, here's what we're doing today. We're going to be playing Yakuza. We're playing Yakuza 0. It is a very slow game, but a lot of action stuff, too. We'll see how it goes. Wish me luck, Chad. We're going to be beating up people. We're going to have to do the whole intro sequence. We'll have at least 2 hours of gaming, so that should be fun. And it's going to be chill. It's going to be fun. I really, really want to get to the part where you can build toy cars. I don't know if it's in this one or the next one. What's up, Desi? I'm stressing. I'm leaving for Mexico on Friday, and I've been packing, keeping up with college courses. Oh, that's rough. Well, I hope you're doing well. No. I've been busy as hell. I'm sorry I've been missing out. You're fine. I stream every day. You're not missing much. Desi, I am not taking money from you to ride bitch. I don't know what that means. I will send it back to you if you're trying to pay me to ride bitch. I still don't know what that means. I'm going to bet you back your money. I don't know what riding bitch means. You have yet to explain it to me. Please click the hentai videos in the... Please collect the what? Please collect the what? What? Can I stream this game? No, Co-Carnage stream this game. I can stream this, right? Like, what do you mean collect the hentai? Nia. I mean, you can hang out and chat, but I won't do any sort of group stuff yet. I will give you back your money, but I appreciate it anyways. Gene, is there a streamer setting in the game? Maybe. I will, Desi. You can't stop me. I'll donate back to you. Except I'll have to donate more than you, so if you donate it back, you're going to be losing money. Get wrecked. Okay. What time is it? We have 10 more minutes? Chat, we're doing great. We have 10 minutes. Has it only been 22 minutes? Why does it feel longer and shorter? Do you know what I mean, chat? Like, am I just too... Should I... Wait. Nia, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just going to kill you later. You said, don't kill me for leaving. And so I'm not going to let anybody know. But if I bring it up now, and then everybody's going to know to look for me when they try to find your autopsies or anything like that. So, hey. Because Nia said don't kill them, and like... What am I going to do? Listen to people? Haven't been back then. Won't now. Fuck. Not you, Spell. Somebody else's autopsy. It's fine. Oh, yes. They'll never find the autopsy. What does that mean, chat? Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Good night, Nia. You sleep well while you can. While you can. While you can. Anyways, hi, chat. Good to see you. Don't spray bottle me. Chat, do I talk too quick? Should I be slowing down how quick I'm talking? People who do not speak English as a native language, am I speaking too quickly? I need to know if I need to be slowing down. Yes? Okay, I will calm down a little bit. I am sorry, chat. Is this a little better? Is this better? Can you understand me now? Okay. I just get really excited. And then I get goofy. And then here we are. It's not too fast, or I should talk faster. Okay, got this. Red, yellow, green, red, blue, 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 red, pepper, green, yellow, and red. Red, yellow, green, red, blue, 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 red, pepper, green, yellow, and red. Red, blend them up, and what do you get? Cherry, chartreuse, and aqua, mal, beige, and ultramarine, and every color in between. Yeah, what's up? ADHD is always ADHDing, but I'm actually medicated today, chat. I'm just having a lot of fun. I got this. You ready? Artificial animators are all amazing. Analytically, I astound animate things. Broken barriers bounded by the zombie. Buildings are broken basically and bombarding. Casually, creature casualties, canceling, cats got their canopies collapsing. Detonated, I'm a dang daily don't. Demonstrations don't on the download. Eat other editors which eat every energetic episode of it etiquette. For years, fat, fearless, fantastic, feeling those funk-filled and feeding the fanatic. Give God great, good, sound glorious, getting God leading in his name with the glorious, hit him high, hell high, historical, hair, holocaust, him, here, holla, Joe, homeboy. Oh, that's how I practice voices, chat. Hi, Jay. How you doing, Jay? Hi, Mabel. Mwah. So, yes. Actually, how I practice voices, come to hide in there till I get off work, that's fair. What I do is, like, a really good way of, like, you find something that you know how to do and memorize that is a bit difficult to say. Something like, artificial amateurs aren't at all amazing. Analytically, I astound, animate things. Broken barriers, mom. It's hard for me to say slow. But then if you want to do a different voice, you go, artificial amateurs aren't all amazing. Analytically, I astound, animate things. And so you get used to it, you know? It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Hi, Mouse Dwarf. What's up? Wait, do the modern Major General. I used to know that. Let me look it up real quick. Hello, Kira. We're going to do the modern Major General. Are you ready? Modern Major General. Lyrics. Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday. I'm not going to do more than that. I am the very model of a modern major general. I am information. I've information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. I know the kings of England, and I could with the fight historical from Manhattan to Waterloo in order categorical. I'm very well acquainted too with matters mathematical. I understand equations both as simple and quadratical. From binomial theorem, I'm teeming with a lot of news with many cheerful facts about the square of the hypotenuse. I'm very good at integral and differential calculus. I know the scientific names of beings animalculous. In short, in matters vegetable and animal and mineral, I am the very model of a modern major general. Huh? Am I clumsy? Oh, God, I am so clumsy. I am so fucking clumsy, chat. You don't even know how clumsy I am. Oh, I was singing a song. Hello, Vanya. I have to sing that one song. Now I'm British? Okay. All right, let's see if we can do it. All right, here we go, here we go. I am the very modern of a modern major general. I've information, vegetable, and animal, and mineral. I know the kings of England, and I quote the facts historical from Marathon to Waterloo and order categorical. I am very well acquainted to the... Oh, God! Media encoder, why are you opening? Don't! No! Help! Sorry, it's okay. Don't worry, it's gone. No, it is modern... Oh, okay, chat. I'm going to have to pause the music so I can explain this all to you. Way back... Hey! There we go. Way back when, in a day far, far away, there was a thing called the Pirates of Penzance. It is about guys, I think they're faking they're being pirates, and girls, and it's an old movie, musical type thing. And they, God damn it, all right. So there's this dude who says he's the very model of a modern major general. A major general is a military position, and he's kind of bragging like, hey, everybody, look, I am the major general. Look how cool I am with all the shit I know. And so during that song, he is constantly talking about all the shit he can do. So it starts with, I am the very model of a modern major general. I've information, vegetable, animal, and mineral. I know the kings of England, and I quote the fights historical from Marathon to Waterloo in order categorical. But yeah, he's British, of course, so, you know, he is what he is. Hi, Tiger, how you doing? Now, you know what's funny? Because this accent is Southern, I immediately have to slow down talking, and I can't get excited. It just immediately drifts me back down. But hello, person who said I have a good radio voice. I really, really do appreciate it, and maybe it calms me down a bit. I don't know what it is, chat. Whenever I get on stream, it's just like... 1,000 bolts of lightning come through me. I get just so excited, and it's it's great. It's great. It's great. You're very, very, very incredible people. All of you fill me with so much energy. That's what it is, chat. You know what you're doing? You know what you're doing? You're doing that classic Dragon Ball Z shit. You're holding your hands up to the screen, and you're going, Gene, take my energy. And I do. But all of you are insomniacs, and so y'all don't have much energy to give. So, you know, if I talk too fast and Southern, I'll get boom how. Is that what it is? Is that what it is? I bet it could be. I mean, it could be if I really wanted to. Kiss for Zebra. Come here. Mwah. Good morning, morning. I do get excited for y'all. Can I fill you with something? Tiger, behave yourself. Since I managed to impress someone, I can now leave and feel good. Nia, you're lovely. You don't ever have to impress anybody. Chat, go check out Cornelia. Cornelia, they are a lovely, lovely forest fairy. Does ASMR. If you like ASMR, they have a lovely voice. They're very kind and sweet, and they raided into me one day a while back. Them and, well, there was also Nico there, but I don't think they raided in with it. My little Latina brain can't keep up. Well, you know, it is what it is. If you need sleep, you get sleep. Get yourself some sleep, chat. And by the way, I am going to be working on a sleep paralysis sleep aid. I just need to kind of, you know, figure out how to do that properly. Vanya's is going to sleep. Oh, good night, Vanya. Why are you going to sleep? Don't go to bed, Vanya. I'll miss you. All right. Now, are we ready? Do we feel ready for Yakuza? Nice, Tiger. I think it'll be fun. Wow, today sucks. I want Gene to tell me I'm all good, but then the moment your stream starts, all that goes away and I'm all good. Yeah! Monster Wolf. You know what's funny, chat? I feel the same way. I mean, my days might suck and everything might be a little bit iffy sometimes, but then I come here to stream, and my day that sucked, well, it's a lot better. What did you say, Vanya? I'm going back to sleep because you hate me? I don't hate you, Vanya. I can't read all the time. I'm currently focusing on myself. Sometimes Chad just like to look at myself. I'm a very model of a model major general. One fine morning, I was awakened. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Can somebody copy me the real? Can somebody copy me the real lyrics to that song so that I can sing it? I have not been ignoring you. Nia, sweetie, you want to message me when I'm at work, and I'm all like, I'm sorry, Nia, I can't be doing shiz right now because I gotta work. You send me some music audio thing, and you're like, Gene, listen to this. I can't. I'm at work. God damn. Yeah, no. Just the starter part. Just the starter part. Just the do 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 do. Una mattina mi sono alzato e ho... Wait, that doesn't seem right. Nah, this is wrong. Huh? In English, she goes, one fine morning, I was awakened. Bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. No, I refuse to listen to anything I haven't heard before there unless you add it to the media player, which will be done on Sunday. Chat, by the way, do not forget, this Sunday and every Sunday, we will be doing media. Oh, right, by the way, I need to keep this up. All right, yeah. All right, chat, we ready? We ready? Why do you hope I explode? Why do you hope what? What? I don't want to explode. I want to explode. Una mattina mi sono alzato, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi sono alzato e ho trovato I can't pronounce the last part. L'invasor. What do you want to eat me for? What is the benefit? What is the benefit? Huh? Don't eat me. Vazor? La Vazor? Thank you. All right, chat. It's time. I think we're at the Yakuza. Yeah, we're at the Yakuza point. We're at the Yakuza point, chat. I'm going to hit up the Yakuza, and then we're going to get going with it. Oh, I'm sorry not feeling good, Venus. You doing all right, sweetie? What's wrong? What's wrong, darling? Not a bunch. Am I too excited for you? Is that what it is? Am I too excited for everybody? Oh, I'll try to be less excited. I promise. I know I'm overstimulating. Why'd you eat food so fast? Chad, don't do that. Eat your food at a normal pace. No, but having a condition would suck. Don't come crying to me if you get food poisoning. Yeah, actually, no, you might die if you eat me. Chat, I would not encourage you to eat me. We're loading the game, chat. 1 second. I gotta make sure it loads properly. It's currently not set up right, so give me just a second here while I adjust things. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Where is my... No, what do you mean? Why are the settings like this? Give me some good settings. Display tips. I'm fine with display tips. All right, camera controls, graphic settings. Yeah, let me customize my graphics. There we are. All right, borderless window. Graphics in ultra. Customize advanced settings. Thank you. 4 times render scale. Full frame show FPS. That's fine. All right. And apply. Chat, I still can't see you. What's going on? Why are you broken, chat? Why are you broken, chat? Have you tried not being broken for a little bit? Just a little bit, chat. Just fix yourself for just a tiny bit, and then we'll make it work, all right? No. Where the hell to go? What is this? I'm trying so hard to find the stupid settings. Come on. Come on. Subtitles, summaries, screen gradation. Am I insane? I'm not insane. Graphic settings. There they are. Man, why were they not showing up? There we go. All right. Chat, I still can't see you. What are you doing? Oh, you are kidding me. Oh, come on, game. Why are you like this? Oh, this is so annoying. All right, let me see if I can fix it. Sorry, chat. Usually I have you all set up on a special thing so I can see, I can see everything. But, it's decided to just, force you to be on top, which doesn't help me. Let's try this. That'll have to do, chat. That'll have to do. So frustrating, so frustrating. All right, we're going to expand you a little bit. There we go. Yeah. I can see y'all now. I can see y'all. Kind of. Not the way I want you to be, but it's going to have to do. So dumb. So dumb. Don't even make no sense. Don't make no sense. All right. No, so chat. I'm gonna walk y'all through what's going on right now. I have a interface thing that I can put over the game so that I can actually see chat when I'm gaming. So I don't have to look over here and see what's going on, and that way I can see like active conversations. And for some reason, why am I still doing Southern Voice? But for some reason, Yakuza has decided that it exists above everything. No matter what, it exists above all things. And so I can't actually put the game underneath with like chat on it because Yakuza refuses. Yakuza's just like, no, you don't have a choice in this matter. Why would you get a pick where your windows are? And so it has to be, right? And so now, like, I can't, it's going to mean that I'm not going to be able to interact as quickly. No, that's the thing. I have it in windowed. It will not work. It is fully in windowed is what I'm saying. And the app that I use that goes over applications will not work. I had to shrink down Yakuza window so it's not fully on the window. Yeah. I hear chat. I will show you what I'm seeing right now. I will show you what I'm seeing right now. This is so frustrating. No. Okay, so Gibbets, here's the issue. I can see chat on my left monitor. I can see chat in so many places, but that means that I have to turn my head to look at you. But if I have you on my monitor, which is how I react so quickly to chat, and how I can actually keep up with some of it, and so I don't piss people off, because people get mad when I don't read their chats fast enough, and they call me out being like, Gene, why didn't you read this? Do you know how difficult it is to play a game and then look left and not look at the game, and then look back at the game, and then look left and not look at the game? So I got an application that will print over top of any game I play. I have an application that goes over top any game I play so that I can see y'all and still respond quick enough. But it's not working. It's not working at all. I will show you all what I'm looking at. It's so stupid. Here, where is it? Shit, I don't even use display capture. All right. You ready? So this is what I see. And if I take this, and I put this over here, where's chat? Chat's gone. I can't. It won't work. No matter what I do. And you know, it's okay to miss some messages, but the thing is, like, when I'm focused in the game, I have very bad ADD, chat, and that's why I have this printed over my game, so that I don't have to move my head and I can see active motion constantly. That way I can keep track of things and stare at it. The circle at the top just hides the border. It was not working. I hid the border so many times, and it was not working. It refused to work. The entire time I've been here, it has not worked. The entire time I had that, it wasn't on. I am so pissed. I'm so pissed. Oh no, see, it's gone again. It's gone again. You see? Now it's working. And now it's gone, chat. And now it's gone. So I have to click on the app, click on the game. Nope. Okay. So I have to do this. We have to do this in the specific order. Crucified, you're very lovely. I cannot praise you right now. Praise myself. Gene, you fucking suck. Find a new app to make this work. You have an iPad set up that you're going to work, but your iPad's locked. So you should have done this earlier, and you could have made it work. But now you're stuck here with dealing with this. So Gene, fuck you. There you go. There you go. Okay. I have an iPad that is currently locked that I have to unlock and I have to delete everything off of. But to unlock it, I have to put in the password wrong, like, for 4 hours. 4 to 5 hours, so that it wipes itself. So that I can reset it up. I am so annoyed. Life is hard, chat. Okay? Life is hard. And then you die. Okay. I have to toggle borders, turn off borders, click here, wait for the game to pop up, and then it works. We're playing the game on normal. We've been through that, Pomo. The problem is that, like, the phone is not in any place that I can see it. The phone is tiny. I would have to, like, glue it to my monitor. But I have a stand for an iPad that I can physically put over top the screen. Yes. All right. Japanese man is dying, chat. Give me a second. Give me a second. Y'all watch. I'm gonna mute myself for a little bit. Enjoy.
この街で喧嘩売んならちゃんと相手を選べ。大金持ち歩いてるとき特にな。
And we're back. Okay, where are we? Give me a second while I get this game back up. Come on, give me a sec. Game capture, robots in disguise. Game capture, me. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. There you go. Oh, how was football, Echo? Also, did you steal my bottle opener, Echo? Oh, wait a second. Ah, that'll do. Ah. Kind of been a bit toxic couple. I know, right? All right. I love his hairstyle, chat. You know that everybody should look more like a penis. I mean, somebody chose to have this hairstyle. You know somebody did. Look at him. I mean, his hair is just like so square. I'm not getting that hairstyle, chat. I have one hairstyle. It's called It's called curly hair. That is messy. The cute, creepy stalker. Nix, you would think a stalker is cute and creepy at the same time. That's hair from the Lorax, exactly. I love these video sequences, by the way. It's just like, I like to imagine that they're talking through their minds exclusively. Why'd you steal my bottle opener? And I just have my weed pen. This game takes place in 1998, or 1988. Back when they still had brain powers to talk between each other, chat. It's true, it's true. No more. Yeah. Oh, there it is. Found it. Found it. So, Chad. Yeah, people used to be able to talk with mind powers. It was all the coke. I wouldn't remember 1988. What is that supposed to mean? Why would I remember 1988? How old do you think I am? Oh, bye, Yuki. I'll miss you. Be good, okay, Yuki? What did I do? What do you mean, what did I do? I didn't do anything. What did I do in 19... I wasn't around in 1988. Chat, if I was around in 1998... So that would be like... You were 3 years old? I was not alive. Aw, take care, Yuki. Be good. Mwah. I was there for the bite of 87. I was there for the... Oh, God, the bleep test. You're ancient? Gasp. The Pacer Gram Fitness test is a aerobic bumping test that blah, 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 blah. I did a recording of that recently, chat. I have not been paying attention. Look at his sideburns, chat. Why would the teacher stop you during your test? That's insane. He beats me.
俺はヤクザになったことねえからわからねえ。まあ、気が変わったらいつでも連絡してくれ。じゃ。
Johnny. I do remember the beginning of this game, though, chat. I have played the beginning of this game like 5 or 6 times. Like the very beginning of this game. Because I'll want to play it. I'll have fun. The pacing will be off. And it just won't fit, you know? Oh, hello. So we're trying again. We're trying again. The first time they do karaoke. Or like a little bit after that. He's attractive, though. He is attractive. No, not far at all. I did not make it far. I mean, remember, I only streamed for like 2 hours, so... If ever the vibe doesn't fit for those 2 hours, then, you know, I need to find a new game. One second, chat. Keep watching. I'll be right back. Yeah, it's Kirito. It's Kirito, and he's in he has 2 swords, and he fights Laughing Coffin. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. His name is Kota Kenpachi Zaraki. He has a long sword with etches in it, and he has bells in his hair. His name's Ken, and he's in Street Fighter. He is the Street Fighter! Chat, it's Ken, and he's the Street Fighter. Her name was Lola. She was a dancer. Her name was Lola. She was a showgirl. This is where Nishiki said he'd meet me. Guess I beat him here. Chat, oh, right, painters. 724106, huh? That's code for what ya up to? I'm waiting for your slow ass to show up. Yes, chat, I'm nailing his voice right now. May as well have a look around and see if I can find him. Fine. Find Nissan. We're gonna find Nissan. Well, let's see if we can find Nissan, chat. The Nissan Elantra. Somewhere we'll find the car. Yes. Nishi. Yama. He's the guy from the Black Bulls. Quit your whining, nerd. Please, somebody help me. Running shakedowns off on our turf? Somebody needs to set them straight before they try anything really stupid. Okay, chat, I'm about to go be an action boy now. You ready, chat? Let's do it. You sure he's not Yakuza? So what if he is? He's our age. If he's Yakuza, he's probably just an errand boy. What position? What position am I assuming? I'm sorry, Chet. My family runs as part of Kamurocho. If you were regulars, you'd know better than to do anything stupid here. Alright, chat, we're gonna do some combat. Are you ready? 3, 2, oh, you press blah repeatedly. Oh, it's ad break! Okay, chat, it's time for a little ad break. I I guess I'll just do the comment. The comment's fine. We don't need to worry about ads yet. If it's like video sequence, we'll stop. I don't know. It's just fun voice to do. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Left click, right click. Yes, I'm using a controller. I don't know. Fuck it. Her name was Lola. She wasn't down. Okay, wait, so it's boom, boom. Wait, why can't I do it? Oh, press that during a rush combo. Okay. Okay, I understand now. Ow, okay. We got this. Chad, I'm such a gamer. Na da 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 da, ma 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 ma. Na 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 na. Ah, shit. Okay. You know what? I might try controller. Where's my controller, chat? Who took it? Who took my controller? It was right here last time. One of you took it. I cannot believe you would take my controller. Why do you want to take my controller so often, chat? Stop snatching my shit. Okay. Alright, so B to grab an enemy. So B to grab, X, Y. Hey, I'm trying to learn something. So 1, 2. Stop punching me, Jesus! Oh, there's a dodge. Okay, we're gonna slowly learn this. Down. Grab him. Sock him in the face. Grab him. Hey, come here. Grab him. Stop getting back up. 1, 2, 3. We're trying to find a Nissan Elantra. Come here. There we go. We did a chat. All right, we're back. Oh, man, Pinky always coming in here immediately with a southern voice. I cannot believe you've done this. Nishiki. You kept me waiting so long, I was beginning to think I'd been stood up. Pinky. Can we get a shout out for Pinky? God damn it, Pinky. The darling. How you doing, sweetie? Yeah, that's why I'm increasing the price by 100%, chat. I'm increasing the price by 100,000%. I was kidding, I wouldn't do that. Her name was Lola. No. Thank you so much. You're welcome. But yeah, Pinky, how you been? How you streams going? Everything going well with you? I'm gonna have that stuck in my head forever. I can't believe you, chat. I can't believe you've done this to me. You personally did this to me. I'll admit it, though, you're finally starting to look... Oh, chat, I didn't do my going live, did I? What's up, Neeks? What's up, sweetie? What you need? No. No, you see my... Anyways, you see, chat. I hate the song Tequila so much that I intentionally ruin it every time I sing it. I don't actually hate it. I just think it's funny to say I do hate it. But, you know, I could. Imagine if I did. Now, see, this is so dumb. Chat, if I wanted to minimize this screen right now, I have to figure out a way to minimize the screen. Additionally, so I can go to Twitter so I can post my going live and be like, hey, y'all, guess what I'm doing right now? Hey, oh. Yakuza. Purple app. Connect. Dots. There we go. Anyways. Toggle borders. Now I gotta go untoggle the border. Now clicking the game. Now it pops up and we're good. Wait, did I forget what? Enjoy your Korean barbecue. Bring me back some food, will you, foodie? Please, please, please. I'd love it. No. Tequila. Mm-hmm.
そうすりゃ世の中の見え方もちった変わる。俺は服なんかどうでもいい。風間のやつさんだっていつも地味な服着てんだろ。お前な、あの人は組の若頭。堂島組のナンバー2だぞ。
Chad, I'm so glad you can't see my face right now. I'm so glad you can't see my face right now.
お前が最近車買ったのもその見栄のためか。
Shit. I did something stupid. Sorry, I need to grab a napkin real quick. Give me a second here. We're just gonna. Alright. I made a drink, except I shook it, and I forgot that well, I needed someone to clean off my face check because I just exploded all over my face, and so I just ripped the shirt down so I could use that. You know, as one does. Made it easier to clean myself off, though. Yeah, no, see, I got a hard cider here that I wanted to mix with G-subs because I needed some energy. And so, you know, what did I do? I ripped my shirt off, like so, and I used my shirt as a napkin. So easy. You just gotta do it sometimes. Can I rip your shirt off completely off? Yeah, I could do it with like one attempt. Oh, it was one of my waist shirts. It doesn't really matter. I actually got a new waist shirt recently that I could rip in half. Chad, do you want to hear a new shirt get ripped? I'm not gonna be reading out loud their text, by the way, unless they've not talking. Too bad that's not happening. Aha! No, I don't hate you. That means I have to get up, and we're playing a game right now. If I rip another shirt, I'm gonna draw you as that werewolf meme. All right. Sorry about that, chat. I just needed a little bit of a... All right, give me a second. So you said, what was that? Let me put the shirt on, actually. Make it a little bit easier. All right, you ready? Shirt's a bit tight, actually. But that's why I took it, because it was free. You ready? 3, 2, just kidding. Ripped the wrong direction, damn it. Come on. I hate when it rips the wrong direction, chat. Do not. Well, I've already started ripping it. I can't not do it now. You know? So now I just gotta get in it. Yeah, put them on before I rip them. What's the fun of not... I want to rip them off. Why does it keep ripping horizontally? I want you ripped down. God damn it. Come on, come on, come on. I do it only with my hands. I put my shirt on myself and then I rip it. I've literally torn the shirt into like shreds, but the wrong direction. Well, there we go. I did not use a pair of scissors. Let me grab one on the back part of it. It will not rip straight down, chat. I now have tubes of shirt around me, by the way. I have tubes of shirt around me, and every time I rip a new piece, it just rips in that direction again. I don't know how this shirt was built. Horizontally unsound, but that's what it is, chat. That's what it is. Oh, well. Fine. Anyways, bad shirt, chat. Is what it is. I was told I'd get meme art. I want meme art. Can you blame me, chat? Can you blame me for wanting meme art? I want meme art. Anyways, where were we? I said, where were we? Did it load right? There we are. Okay. Oh, damn, it's broken again. So annoying. But chat, do you feel better now that I've ripped the shirt? Do you feel better now? Now that I'm covered in tubes of this awful, awful shirt? It's very interesting. Explode out of the dress shirt? I could do that. You feel entertained? Alright, well, how do I get out of this thing now? Hydrate? I refuse. It is in so many pieces. No, I did it for a meme. And now I've lost the controller, chat. And now I've lost the controller. The only thing I have to hydrate now is 3 apple cider hard ciders, which I've drank 2 of already. Or we have that's it. That's it, chat. That's actually all I have. No more shirts. Why no more shirts? I have water on me. I don't have any water on me. You can't make me drink water, chat. You can try all you want, but it's not gonna happen. Take more water. No, maybe not. Why do you want me to drink more water, chat? Why do you want me to drink more water? Fine, I'll drink water, chat. I'll drink water, okay? There we go. Fucking. Ah. Now it's half a shirt. Okay. Oh shit, he's talking to me. Okay. Alright. Hydrate or die straight. Do not drink piss. On my way. I'm about to go drink piss, chat. Just for you. Just for you. What is this man's doing? Sir, are you okay? Do you want to... No, never mind? Okay. What is this, a fight? It looks like it. Oh my god. Come on, you're in the way. What's your problem, bro? You got a problem? We're in the middle of some important business. Hey, old man. Quit talking to them. We're not done here. Was that water you drank or was it not? I did drink a drink of water. Who's an old man, you snot-nosed little punk? Who's a snot, whatever you said? Gah, oof. Oh, now you've done it. Yeah. Come on, Grandma. Take your best shot. It does. It looks a bit oofy and goofy. It's not trouble. Let's take a different road. No need. I've got a fast way to fix this. Oh, yeah. I just need to sober them up a bit with my... we really beating these people? Gah, ooh, ah, Gah, ooh, ah. All right, here we go, chat. Beat up some drunks. What's your blabbing? Stab this? Yeah, but alright. Bustin' bus. Alright, here we go, chat. It's gonna be... Oh. Come here. Pressing B while in heat cage. There we go. Ooh, ooh, oh! Come here. Oh, glorious, glorious, glorious. Wait, how do I lock on? Okay, no, I'm so confused. Okay, wait, right bumper. And, yeah. There we go. Come on. Yeah, you ready, chat? You ready? Yeah. And there we go. He's dead. What'd you name it? Enjoyable, transparent, peppermint? Mm-hmm. Yeah, chat. They're not going to let you name anything variation of piss. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry. It's not going to let you do piss. What was I doing here and who are you? Sounds like they sobered him up. Must be your delicate touch. I remember watching music videos at the bar. We're going to go talk about what idols we liked. Yeah. Wow, are they really arguing about idols? That's insane. You would be dead if you're beaten up like that? I'd be dead. Just if I existed. But I don't exist, chat. That's why I'm alive. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Complete certain events. Sweet. You don't exist either? That makes sense. Mm. Mm. Enjoy washing your dishes, you non-capoeira motherfucker. I know, right? Can I be honest, chap? This game is great. It's a good game. Written well, stories well. I really don't think I can get in the vibe of it.
Yes.
And like... Yeah. He is a cool old man, don't get me wrong. I really don't get into RPGs that much, and this is so much an RPG. I don't know, maybe it's the pacing? I mean, I think the story is fine. It's like... I don't know.
No.
It feels like I'm playing a game. What are we doing? Yeah. We could play something else. Like, honestly, like my brain... It wants to either shut off completely and just not interact with chat at all and just play it. Or it wants to interact with chat. But I feel like I have to be in a certain mindset for this. But I want to like it so badly. Because this is one of the few games that I watched Kill Carnage play, and I was like, this looks so fun. This looks like so cool, and I love watching him. And it was so nice to like see him build this car. Like he did this racetrack game where he built a car. That's it, and he did it over and over and over again. People were like, play the game, and he's like, no, I want to play the race car game, and I want to see if I can beat the race car game. And I'm just like, fuck yeah, I love that. And I love the game. Like, it's a great game. I can tell it's a good game. Yeah, I can't do it, chat. I'm so sorry. I can't play games when I'm not streaming. I cannot play games when I'm not streaming. I have tried, chat. I have tried, and I feel guilty, and I feel like I'm not doing something that I should be doing. Do I want the snout? I do want the snout. Give me a snout. I don't know what the snout is, but I tried. I wanted to like it. I think my energy was just thrown off earlier. I mean, like, just some of the stuff that happened earlier on just kind of threw off my energy a lot. And I don't think I've recovered. Hi, Saviati. I just don't even know what I would play. I'm in the brain state where I'm just like, I need dopamine. I need dopamine. And you know, the only thing I can think of as dopamine is shooting and murder. Cause I want to do just chatting, but I also just don't want to sit here and complain. Like what do I do? Help me, chat. I feel like I'm just gonna complain, but I'm not complaining. The game was great. It is cool. I've watched other people play it, and it's just so cool. I have tried to train myself to like things, and it's an amazing game. Do I go to a bullet hell game? Well, see, that might be even worse. I don't know, chat. Yeah, the mood kind of just dropped earlier. I hate when things are like that, when they're just like weirdly I broke. Sorry. This weirdly inconvenient. Okay. And it's the thing of like I love watching Carnage play the game. Oh my god, it was so good watching Carnage play it. I loved sitting there and watching him like beat up people for hours and like doing little story missions and doing so much stuff. And that was so good, so good. But then like, oh, too bad you don't have other people. I would suggest FBC Firebreak. I like it. I don't know what that is. Share your demos. Oh, hell yeah. I love sharing my demo. Shooting and tasks. Man, just about shooting. Okay, I'm going to check something, chat, but I think I uninstalled it. And if I uninstalled it, or I can't do that, which is going to suck. So let's see. I almost guarantee I uninstalled it. Let's find out, chat. What do you think I uninstalled it? Superhot's not really it either, because Superhot, as fast-paced as it is a very slow game. It's a very strategic game. It's just nothing hits right now. But I want to play. I want to hang out. I want to do stuff. And I said I'm going to do a 3-hour stream, so I'm doing a 3-hour stream. You can't stop me. You can't stop me, chat. You can't stop me even if you wanted me to stop. I'm not stopping. I'm making it through 3 hours, 6 hours. Ugh, of course it's uninstalled. And it's such a big game. It's such a big game. Critique music videos. I don't want to bitch. No, chat, I appreciate you so much. I was going to try to play Rainbow Six Siege, because that's these have been my go-to when I was like I had like no energy. I'd just go do Rainbow Six Siege over and over and over and over again until I hated myself. Or I heavily drank. Wait, why'd you need to quit Overwatch? What's wrong with Overwatch? I like Overwatch. No, it's a 100 gigabyte game, and it's not good for me, and I don't normally play it. What do you mean no drinking? I have been drinking, chat. Horribly brain rotting? That's fair. Chat, did you know that I bought 13 copies of Overwatch? I bought over 13 copies of Overwatch. Oh, no. Okay, so hear me out. Back in the day, Overwatch let you see all the characters other people played, right? Like they let you see everything anybody played. And so people would go into your profile and see what characters you played and would get upset if you didn't play the characters that you knew. And so you'd play a tank, and like you'd like only play tank, and then you try to play a different character to learn like a DPS, and they'd be like, no, don't you dare play that in this thing. Don't do this thing. Like, clearly I know this character better. Swap off of that and do this other thing. So I would buy a new copy of the game to try to learn a new character because I had the disposable income and I wasn't medicated, so my impulsivity was extreme. And so that's what I do. I would just, buy another copy of Overwatch. Over and over and over. And eventually I finally hit plat. So, it worked. I had one account called Bone Sober, which is the one account I wouldn't drink on. And then I had another one called Not True Facts, where before every single game I would talk about, I would talk facts that weren't true. Mullet Mad Jack? I have not. What is that? And it was fun. Yeah, not true facts, or they are lies. And then there was one that was like account that was exclusively drunk that I'd play. And chat, this is when I learned that I play shooters better heavily drunk. Like, oh my god, I used to. Oof. That is one of the reasons I drank. Overwatch drove me to drinking. Which is funny to think about. That Overwatch drove me to drinking. Because, okay, so hear me out. This is what I would do, okay? You ready? So here's what I do. I'd go into the game. pull out my gun, and I'd hunt somebody down, and be like, and I'd be hunting them down. And then I'd realize I quit breathing. I would be holding my breath going, until I killed them, and then I'd breathe. And I did this off and on and off and on and off and on and off and on and off and on for hours. And it would give me headaches. It would give me headaches so badly. Like, I would get such chronic headaches. And then I found out something, chat. Do you know what would kill that for me? Because it would stop me from getting too, like, wound up and tight? Drinking. Oh, I drink, and suddenly the game would be easy. Suddenly everything clicked into place, and I wouldn't have to worry, and I'd get in this flow state. I'd get into a flow state where suddenly I'm just everywhere and nowhere, and everyone's like, God, can somebody please kill that? Blah, blah, blah. Most of the time it was Tracer, sometimes it's Reaper, and it felt so good. And so I got used to it. And then I started streaming. I started flesh tubing. And I'd go to work 8 hours a day, barely paying attention, come home. The second I got home, I turned on my computer, loaded up a game, and I'd start drinking. I'd stream almost every single day with a 1.75 liter bottle of vodka next to me. And I would drink. I'd make drinks. Here's a can of Coke. And we're going to fill up the vodka until it feels right. And when things would go badly, I'd drink straight from the bottle. And every week, I would finish a 1.7 liter bottle of vodka. Every week or every 2 weeks. Oh, yeah. No, I also didn't drink water for a while and only drink Mountain Dew until my kidneys hurt. I don't do that now, chat. I almost never drink. And I take care of myself. But, like, yeah, no, it was not healthy. It was not healthy. Chat, okay, I know I don't drink water on stream a lot. I have a 1.7 liter bottle of water at work. Or like 1.5 liter bottle of water at work. No, actually, it's almost 2. It's like 1.75 or almost 2 liters of water that I drink every single day while I'm at work. And then I come home and I fill up this 28 fluid ounces, 828 milliliter bottle. I drink one of these in the morning and one of these after like stream or during stream. So even when you don't redeem it, sometimes I do drink water or I'll drink outside of it. So you don't have to worry about me. I do drink water because I used to get chronic headaches, and doing voice acting and stuff, my nose gets really stuffy. I'm taking care of myself, okay? I drink almost 4 liters of water a day. I recently had to get a new water bottle, though, so there was a day where I wasn't drinking water, but I am again, okay? But yeah, so there's my exposing my unhealthiness and my lack of fact. I mean, like, I was... Never, ever, ever become reliant on something, whether that is people, energy, not saying like people, but I mean like if you have to act a certain way or be energetic or you have to eat so much food or you have to do whatever just so that you feel normal, maybe try something else. Practice. Do you know how I fixed that with streaming, chat? Can I walk you through like how I became comfortable with streaming and like doing it fully sober anymore? I know this is like really serious topics right now. You know what? We're changing the stream to connections. Lots of talk. Okay. So when I started being a VTuber, here's what I did. Oh, by the way, I did put that on there because I have noticed sometimes people get too aggressive with the flirting with each other. So there is a little reminder every once in a while, like, hey guys, you know, remember, keep it relevant to the stream. Anyway, so when I started streaming as a VTuber, hi Lynn, I did this. I did only this. I would go on a random background that I had. I'd stand in front of it. My stream would be socially awkward, VTuber, practices yapping. That was my stream title every single time. And I'm still socially awkward, don't get me wrong. I'm just good at streaming. And as I got better at it, and better at it, and better at it, and better at it, eventually, you know, I'm here now. And I know sometimes, you know, I'll lose the vibe and my energy will go down, but like, then we just come back here. And I get to see you all again. Hello, Kamen Rider. How you doing? I don't know which one Kuga is. I'll have to look it up sometime. What message do you love? Neeks. I don't think I saw the message. Gene wants all the attention as it should be. As it should be. As it should be, chat. I should get all the attention. All the time. Oh, that's fair. No, don't be sorry, Neeks. I was curious. Do you want me not to be curious, Neeks? Is that what you want? I'm sorry, Neeks. I'll never be curious ever again. Attention is tasty. I need several servings to survive. That's true. That's true. That's true. You should be sorry. I'm curious like a Moving on. No, I did not say that word. I didn't say that word. Cookie crust cheesecake. That sounds delicious. Bwah. Don't you blah me. All right, let's see what happened. Nope, this game is made by a pedophile, so I'm deleting that game. Let's not play that. I know, right? Curious puppy? I mean, I'd rather be a curious puppy than a cat, you know, chat? I have my vibes and I have my opinions. I mean, there's only so much I can do. Ah, damn it. Where is it? Enjoy your relaxing, okay, Desi? Enjoy your relaxing. I hope you really enjoy it, okay? What you got against curious cats? I'm not a cat, though, chat. Like, how can I be a curious cat? So, I'm about to complain about something else. You ready for this? Desi, you doing okay? One second, chat. We're back. All right. Hello, lovelies. I'm going to have to call an end of stream. I just have some stuff coming up. I appreciate you all so very much, but I do need to pop off for a little while. We'll be back to streaming normally tomorrow, but I appreciate you all being here, okay?